Hi, my name is Douglas Van, and I am from Hong Kong, and I live in Hong Kong, and I manage my own and my family's trust funds, if you will, and we do also PE investments in areas of interest. On the prediction of how I see the rest of 2021, I think should be fairly straightforward, with everybody coming out of the COVID issue and the quantitative easing, which is just easing, and the various government-sponsored spending uh, projects will continue, and this will help the economies around the world recover. And I don't see any major issues for the rest of the year. The current rotation from different classes of equities or different industries will continue as people like to play this musical chair and hope that they think that they are smarter than everybody else. Um, Looking forward to 2040, I think it's a very different picture. Obviously, what's become very notable ever since Trump became president is that the whole geopolitical issue has come to the forefront. And he has used the geopolitics as a way to rally Americans behind him, that there seems to be an invisible army which is fast eating everybody in America's lunch, and therefore we should do something about it. Personally, I'm against economic sanctions. It only works in a very limited amount, as evidenced by North Korea, Cuba, and other smaller countries where they are easily manipulated and controlled. Using the same for China, I think is silly, and I think it's against the principle of a very efficient world. And that, be it may, it is what it is. And then it has actually woken up everyone around the world to start looking at what they have to do to protect themselves a little bit better. And I think with a increasingly socialistic Europe, which is very costly for them, and is something that they need to figure out whether they will stick to the principles or they will have to relent and be a little bit more ruthless, quote unquote, in how they deal with the rest of the world. And a rising middle class in China, increasing their spending power and therefore the GDP tremendously, and a USA which is still holding on to its belief that it has to be Big Brother. And thank the world has been lucky to have USA to act as Big Brother up to now. But I think the world is changing, and I think the different blocks, which would be a China block, a US block, and a Europe block, unfortunately, I think that is going to happen when everybody kind of look to their immediate circle as a way to protect their interests. I think people have to understand a little bit better in terms of the rising of China, because just 100 years ago, China was at the tail end of the Qing dynasty, a feudal system, and a very weak country, where countries like UK, Germany, USA, Japan, and even the Netherlands and Portugal at some point all have occupied certain coastal cities in China as a way to exert pressure on China that we want you to keep buying opium or whatever else it is that they want to sell, and we want to take what we need from you. And being very weak at that time, China had been the victim of foreign domination all over. And this did not end until the end of Second World War. And obviously, at that time, it was a very poor country, and communism seems to be the only way that they can rally the people of the country together, and much to the chagrin of the rich who all escaped. Some came to Hong Kong, some went to Taiwan, and a lot of them also went to the USA. And because of a very authoritarian rule, China, and I would say good leaders with their interest not only to enrich themselves, which was also happened, corruption, but also to help raise the standards of the people in the country. And this is where we are in China now. Xi Jinping, how good or bad he is, I think so far it's hard to tell. But one thing is that it is not obvious that he and his family members are on the take, and just like previous leaders in China. So people are changing. China is changing. I think everybody has to keep up with the times and change accordingly. So with that, I'm hopeful that we will all change for the better and learn that coexistence is the way to go, as a way to be living in a healthier and safer world. And that's cooperation in environmental issues, in social issues, and of course in commerce. And that's important. Thank you very much.